flew from Jimmy Fallon to Winnipeg. So yeah, he's upgrading pretty quick. He's also been at Just for Laughs his first time in Winnipeg. Please welcome to the stage a very funny Mr. Josh Johnson.
I am Josh Johnson. Did Fallon last night and then came to Winnipeg, which is also very beautiful. Everyone is very happy here. People smile a lot.
Before the show, I saw two of you high five. That never happens in New York. No one has ever. People are just like, don't look at me.
Some people I worked with in Chicago have been here. At least they said they were. I believed them. I didn't see them here. They loved it. Some New York people have said great things about the club. They're excited to come.
People think you won't survive the cold. Have you ever had your life saved when the stakes were incredibly low?
This is really my first time spending a weekend in Canada at a club, which is great. This place is awesome.
I was fired from being in a gang. They kicked me out because I was too positive. They were like, "Why you always smiling, dog?" I'm like, I mean, none of us are dead or in jail, and we're a gang. They also kicked me out because I apologized too much. Our drive-bys sounded like... Sorry! Like that's... After a while, I saw their point, you know? And even when it came down to it, and they were kicking me out, and I was like, I just want to hang out with my friends, and you guys are my friends, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do. Why do I have to leave? And they were like, bro, you giggle. You just like a bad influence, dog. You know what I mean? Like, you over here bringing in puppies and lemonade and like...
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell a friend. That would be a huge help if you tell people about it. Sharing is great. There's like a share button, but if you tell people, they might click on it.
I just want to be fun. Like, I'm not fun. As a guy, I'm not a fun guy. I want to be so bad. I'll see people having fun and be like, that looks dope. And I'll tell you this, there's nothing less fun than catching somebody watch you have fun. Because that happens to me all the time. There are times where I'm standing to the side and I'm watching somebody have fun. And no matter what you're doing that's fun, as you catch somebody watching you have fun, you stop. You stop immediately what you're doing. You'll be having fun, whether you're dancing, you be riding go-karts, whatever. And then if you just see someone off to the side like me, like, yeah. You look like you're having a good time. You are immediately not having a good time. It's the worst. It's so bad. I hate it. I don't like being the one to do. I didn't know that when you at a party and people are dancing and you are not dancing, you watching them dance. I didn't know you're supposed to move your head to the rhythm. I didn't know you're supposed to move your head to the rhythm side to side. I didn't know that's what we were doing. Like when people are dancing and they're over there, you're like, yeah, I didn't know it was that. I've done two very off things. One, I didn't know I was supposed to move my head if I was watching people dance, and I was supposed to move my head to the beat. So one time there were these people dancing, and then they caught me watching them have fun, but I was being completely still. And that is also heroin. You know what I mean? Like, you really getting it, and then somebody off to the side against the wall is like, yeah. Keep doing that. It's very upsetting, you know? And like I said, I didn't know we were supposed to move our head side to side. So then there was another time I was like, okay, I'm supposed to move my head to the beat. So then I was moving my head to the beat, but I was going back and forth. And that is also unsettling to watch. You're dancing, somebody's like, yeah, to the rhythm, yes. Yeah, get it, get it. I just want to be fun. I want to be fun like, Brazilians are very fun. Brazilians as a people, they have incredible music, beautiful dancing, they're beautiful people and they know how to have fun. I read about a guy who was so fun. This guy partied for 4 days straight. 4 full days of party. He partied from New Year's Eve well into the new year. So first and then 3 days. He partied for 4 days straight without realizing he had been shot in the head. That's a fun guy. That's a very, very fun individual, you know? This dude got shot in the head and went to more parties and was more fun. If I get shot, I don't know about y'all, but if I get shot in the head, I die. All right? Maybe that's just how I was raised, but like, I don't get shot in the head and keep carrying on twerking. I go to another plane where the mortal coil cannot follow, all right? This dude got shot in the head and went to more parties and was progressively more fun per party. If I get shot in the head, that is everybody's problem. I'll tell you that right now. If I got shot in the head tonight, we are all going to the hospital. Please believe me. And I will be calling out individuals if I see you trying to peel off. I'm like, no, Cindy, I need you. This man was shot in the head. And we don't even know the circumstances of him getting shot in the head. I was reading about it. Nobody knows this. Okay, I came up with some theories because no one knew. I think there may be, you know how guys can be at a party, you're out here dancing or you're walking with your drink, somebody bumps into you, doesn't apologize. Now we have a problem, right? So now you get nose to nose trying to get them to apologize. Then you get loud and everybody's watching. And then you get like fully, you know like when dudes do this, like this full on in my face, our noses are touching. This is always weird. Anytime I see this, I'm like, y'all should just kiss. It would make more sense if you kiss right now. Because this is the thing. If he's here and I'm here, he could still really, he could choke me, he could do anything, right? Like, this is real fighting could happen right here. Here, you're a little too close. Here, there really isn't anything you would punch us if you punch me right now. And so maybe, they got into it, they got nose to nose or whatever, they were ready to fight. And then maybe this dude was like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do has got more people killed than any other sentence in language. It goes, what you gonna do, followed closely by, I wouldn't take that if I was you. It's like, those two are deadly, right? So then maybe he goes, what you gonna do? And then the other guy pulls out a gun and shot him in the head. And then he went, rude. And then walked about his business, because clearly it didn't matter. He had been shot in the head. The head is where they keep all the brains. I don't know how this man was shot in his head and didn't know. I mean, look, what I think actually happened is that he was probably getting twerked on. Twerking is very distracting. If you're getting twerked on by the right person, you won't notice anything else happening in the room. He was probably like, girl, you getting it. Oh my God, you really getting it. You really getting it. Don't worry about that. This was a loud noise, baby girl. Keep doing what you do. Oh. No, it's wild. They asked him at the hospital. When he finally went to the hospital, they were like, you've clearly been shot in the head. What did you think happened? And he was like, oh, I thought I got hit in the head with a rock. That's the most shot in the head thing to say I've ever heard in my entire... You know, like when you at a party and you having a good time and everybody just starts throwing rocks? You know that common occurrence that happens at every party where everybody's having fun, we're all dancing, and then that one guy goes, pebbles for everybody. You know that thing that happens all the time to each and every one of us. Thought you got hit in the head with a rock. What? Only reason he went to the hospital is that his arm was spasmic. But he didn't even go right away. He was probably getting twerked on in the moment. It was like, girl, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. You're really getting it. Oh my God, that's amazing. Everything you're doing is great. They finally stopped dancing after like a day. I don't know. And then she was like, where do you live? Let's go back to your place. He was like, girl, I live over there. And she was like, where? He's like, I'm pointing right at it, girl. She's like, what's wrong with your arm? He's like, oh, this has been happening for 3 days, girl. I saw this video of this guy who was at a white guy in Alabama that was at a Bass Pro Shop. So far, whole story checks out, right? So far, nothing is out of the ordinary, right? And this dude is very much on drugs. I don't know what drugs, but I know drugs, right? He's on drugs. Now, the story starts in the parking lot. He drives up to the Bass Pro Shop, and he immediately drives his car into a light pole at the Bass Pro Shop in the parking lot, and then he backs up and does it 8 more times, chops it down like a tree, right? And then he gets out and walks in the Bass Pro Shop. So you already know my man is ready to play. And so walks in the Bass Pro Shop. The video starts where it starts, so I don't know what happened in between. I don't know when he got naked. All I know is this dude. The video starts with this dude, and he just been doing cannonballs into the Bass Pro Shop fish tank. So these fish are all compromised, all right? So he is doing naked cannonballs over and over again. He getting deep, and I'd like to think they called the police when he got naked, but maybe they didn't. Maybe they were like, let's see what he does. And so my man is just climbing up, dunking, and then you can tell he's on drugs because he's speaking drugs, right? Because then in the video, he swims to the front of the tank and he's like, and when I heard that, I was like, that's drugs. That's not the native tongue of any land. And so the police come. So now we're going to switch for a second from people recording him on their phones to the police body cam, right? So police show up. They see him in the fish tank, and they see him. And he waved to them. It's not really phased. And so then they are trying to figure out how he got up there. So then they go ahead and they start climbing up some of the rocks, right? So then they turn, police body cam. They turn, and when they turn to him in the tank, he's gone. And so you're like, okay, he on drugs, but is he magic? Because that's a different situation. Can you imagine if a magician is on drugs? David Blaine already like that. Imagine David Blaine on drugs. That'd be a problem. Make you feel like you on drugs. And so then he's gone. He's gone because even though he's on drugs, he had the presence of mind that, hey, that's the police. They probably won't talk to me. And so then he jumped out of the tank. But the tank is like 18 feet high, right? So this man, naked, jumped out of the tank just onto the ground, and he landed Family Guy style, right? So this dude has knocked himself out on the ground, right? And he laying over here like this, like he just fully passed out. And you can even hear a cop through another cop's body cam turn, and he's not there, and then they see him on the ground, and you hear another cop go, oh shit. And then they come down. Now this man is like fully out, right? But he is on drugs. And so the drugs do wake him up just in time because now the cops are over him, right? I don't know if they had actually grabbed his wrist yet or anything, but this dude immediately wakes up on drugs, flips over, and kicks one of the cops in the balls, right? So that cop goes down. I don't know the code for it, but he's not getting back up for a minute, okay? And now the cops all have bent knees because they're like, okay, we got a live one here. Like, he got a lot of fight in him, right? And I almost never feel bad for the police. But in this instance, I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty bad for those officers because they try to catch a dude who is on drugs and naked and wet, so he is very hard to catch. Basically impossible. Because every time they grab this man, he over here like, no, no, thank you, no, No jail for me, no. And he's slippery as a fish, so they really can't get a hold of him. No, no, jail doesn't feel nice. No, I don't want it. And it's horrible, because then there's really nothing to grab. And I'm telling you, because he was naked in the tank and we saw it, there's nothing to grab, right? So they are fighting to catch this dude. They finally get a hold of him, because I think they just been drying him off this whole time. You know what I mean? Through the entire scuffle. And they finally get him handcuffed, and they're walking him out. And as they're walking about, this is back on people's phones now. As they're walking about, he walking past people who've been recording him on their phones, and he's going, ba 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 ba. Now this next part is not on camera. I had to read about this. They take him outside, they put him in the back of the cop car, and this is the first time where, even though he is on drugs, he's not having a good time. Because now he in the back of the cop car going, this feels unfair. And then on drugs, he starts kicking the door, and because he's on drugs, even though he got a naked, wet foot, he is so strong that he is kicking the car door so hard, he is warping the metal, right? And I saw that, and I was like, he must kick that cop's dick off. Like, that's horrible. Police had to come out and make a statement the next day where they were like, we hope that his actions on camera will lead to better decisions in the future. Also, we expect Officer Ortiz to make a full recovery. I try to be a good friend to my friends with anxiety, because I have anxiety too, but like, it's hard to really be there for someone with anxiety, because they're right. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you ever really listen to an anxious person talk, they're making some very salient points. Like, their points are actually so good, it started to jack up my anxiety, because I was like, fuck, I didn't think about that. Oh no! That's the worst. I'll tell you this, one time a friend called me. And he was not doing well at all. And he was telling me how he wanted to, end it and everything. And then just started describing to me everything that was wrong in his life. And as I listened to my friend, I realized that we had the same life. And I'd be lying if I said I'd get a little defensive. Because he over here telling me, he's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm a grown man eating TV dinners every night. And I'm like, well, maybe you're doing your best, all right? It's like I'm doing open mics every night to a bunch of people who just feel like I'm bothering them while they try to watch the game. I'm like, well, maybe you gonna get better one day. It's weird how much anxiety there is over the election. Like truly nobody's happy. Like everybody's like, You even feel how it got in here? Everybody was like bummed out. It's odd, right? Because it's like a rematch nobody wanted. It feels really, really crazy. That's why, if I'm being honest with you, I try to think a lot about how to solve big problems, right? And I'm not a doctor. I'm not an engineer. I'm not even helpful, all right? But I think about how to solve big problems. And I think that in this scenario, and I want to be clear where I'm coming from. I'm not like, I mean this across the board, you know? I grew up in Louisiana. I lived in Chicago. I live in New York now. I travel around the country. I'm not just speaking with like some partisan idea in mind. I'm saying I think that for this election, and just this one, right? For this one election, that the presidential race should be a race. Because no matter who wins, I think we will be more astonished than upset. You know what I mean? Like, no matter who wins, we're gonna be like, I didn't know he had it in him. That's wild.
Put your hands together, start clapping right now for the incomparable Josh
I've had quite a week still trying to distill all of my thoughts and feelings around the presidential debate. Okay. I live in New York, and in New York there are a lot of parks, and in some of those parks you'll see, it's like an iconic thing about New York, that there'll be somebody playing chess in the park, right? And sometimes they're just two old men playing chess or checkers. Sometimes it's somebody that's like, hey, I'll play anybody, I'm practicing for a tournament. And a lot of times it's somebody who's playing chess, but they're playing for like money. Like, you put 5 down, I bet you can't beat me, and I'll put 5 down, and we'll see. And then, you know, speed chess as well. They got the clock next to them, bow, 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 right? And I've played before, and I'm not good at chess. And it's crazy how fast you can lose. Sometimes I'll be playing chess in the park, and he'll be like, checkmate, but it sounds like there's no way. Then I'll grab, I have a chess book, and I'll look at the board and look at the book. Like, damn, okay. That wasn't that many moves. I don't know what else I was supposed to do. You know? And I don't know, I feel like watching the election and watching the debate felt a lot like that. It felt like bad chess moves. We've watched a lot of debates that Trump has been in, and we've gone 2 for 2 this year with having remarkably historic debates, both of which were like, whew. You know what I mean? Like, you get done and you're like, whew. Felt like I was up there. And there was a moment in the first debate that was echoed in this debate. There was a moment back when Trump was debating Biden, and I've talked about it before, where there's a second there where Trump looked at Biden, and for a split second, he wasn't trying to be president. He wasn't even trying to debate. He was literally like, hey, he good? Like, no, y'all, stop. Is he good, though? It was a different tactic than we've ever seen before from Kamala debating Trump because she debated him the way that I think a lot of us might debate him. You know? I'm not gonna speak for anybody in here, anybody listening to me. I don't know if you're like a political analyst. I don't know how involved you are with politics, but she debated him the way that I think we debate him sometimes in our heads, which is to be like, what did you just... Because most politicians are not... Hear me out. Most politicians don't behave like people. And when I say that, I want you to understand, I mean, maybe they care about people, maybe they care about getting something good done, maybe they care about forwarding their agenda, but they don't react to things and they don't behave like people, like just regular people. It's why they feel fake, is because they can't just be like, oh, shit. You see, man? Do you see what I mean? And it's why people from 2015 on have gravitated towards Trump, because he feels like they would react. Like he will say, oh, shit. But then you look at someone like Kamala, and she's a very polished person, very accomplished person. But in that debate, she was having moments that for the first time ever felt like moments that we might have up there. Does that make sense? Like when Trump would debate other Republicans leading up to the nomination, or when Trump would debate Hillary or Biden, there was a sense of like, wait, are you not going to say anything about the thing that he just said just now? Why are you staring forward, acting like what you heard wasn't wrong? Why are you like looking to the moderators to fact check? There's nothing more exhausting than when someone who could be a good player is looking at the ref to be like, help. You know what I mean? You say he's lying right now. Like he just lied now, so say it now. Don't later be like, and then they didn't even help. Do you see what I mean? We've watched it happen. We've watched, he was in those debates. Republicans did not know what to do with this man. He was over there telling Ted Cruz to his face, your wife is ugly. And because Ted Cruz doesn't move like a person, doesn't react like a person, he didn't slap him in his face in that moment. No, Trump has shown that the American people were ready and willing for someone unorthodox. You know how much he would have surged in the polls if he had walked over from his podium and was like, what? And then slapped Trump in his face. I know at least his wife would have liked it. You know? I don't even remember what he said about Marco Rubio. I just remember Marco Rubio looking littler and littler every day. Marco Rubio started showing up. I was like, is he 4'8"? Nobody knew what to do. Journalists didn't know what to do. Journalists were like, but you can't say that about the press. But he did it. What are you gonna do? You know? And so now you watch this debate with Kamala, and we've all heard it and probably said it ourselves, that she baited him a lot, but he bit every time. And this is my thing with that, is that decorum aside, don't you want someone representing you that could maybe let something slide? It's got to be tough to be in the public eye. It's got to be tough to
be and feel slighted all the time by lots of people that you meet that you don't know and they hate you. But also, you're here to do a job. You're here to do a job on the highest level. So a lot of people won't like you. No matter who wins as president, there will be people who are very upset. Do you really want someone who could be so easily irked? Kamala said, nobody. Kamala said that people leave his rallies early out of boredom and maybe confusion. I don't remember the other thing she said, but she said people were leaving early. And this is what's so interesting about that. We can talk about how much it's warranted or how much of it he egged on or whatever, but there has not been in a very long time a political figure that is as hated as Trump by a lot of people. So a lot of people have said every type of thing about him. A lot of people have drawn him. Do you know how much you gotta hate somebody to draw them? A lot of people... Drawings take time. It's one thing to curse somebody out real quick. It's a totally different thing to... No, wait, I'm getting his ass. I'm gonna take a break, but when I get back, he about to get it, all right? So all manner of things have been said to and about him, about himself, about his family, about how he behaves, about how he actually feels, about Americans in America, all of it. But this thing hadn't been said. And it turns out that this was the thing to say. This was the thing. If you're talking about feelings, this was the thing. And look, as someone raised by black women, don't. Black women know how to hurt feelings. Only a black woman would be like, no, go to his little rally and see him. That's how confident she was in what she was saying, that she told us to go. She was like, look, I'm gonna do something I wouldn't normally do. Go ahead and go. You'll leave early, don't worry. That was the thing. That was the thing. And you could see it happen. You could see it, on his face, you could see it happen. This dude who has held the highest office has been called a traitor. He's been called a Russian asset. He's been called all manner of things. But this was the thing. And it's because deep down at his core, even his supporters will admit that deep down at the base of who he is, Trump is an entertainer. And all I'm saying is, as a fellow entertainer, if someone had said, Josh, people leave your shows early. Out of boredom and confusion, I'd be like, oh, okay, we fighting, say less. This was the thing. That was the thing that like broke through this weird armor, because I've noticed that Trump specifically
has a thing that has always kind of existed in politics, but has never existed to this degree, right? Where Trump has a filter created by his base, by the people who like him, love him, and everything, that he can say whatever he wants, but they will distill it for him for the rest of us. He'll say whatever, and then they will be like, what he meant was... But what he meant shouldn't have been what he said. Because he said this, and you're saying he meant something else, but he also had access to the words you just said. So are you sure he meant what you're saying and not what he said? I'd like to think that when you say something as the commander-in-chief, you mean what you said when you said it. You didn't say something being like, they'll figure it out. And because he has that filter, because that sort of buffer exists between him and like sound arguments and logic, I don't even mean that as like a diss. I literally mean he could say something and then it could spin out past something that he meant for real, right? Because, as an example, that's like Trump's vaccine. I know we forget that, and I've talked about it before, but that's like, as far as presidents go, as far as you getting credit for the things you do while you're president, that's Trump's vaccine. But when he tried to say, guys, we did it, we have a vaccine, and his audience booed, he realized what it's like. Oh, I don't necessarily control what goes out, even though I said it. I said you should get vaccinated, and then they booed me. So clearly, it's not like a one-to-one. What I say is not, it won't be exactly what they do. So now I'm also trying to figure out how to like keep them on my side, but win them over, but lead them. I think in that moment you saw him get really worried and confused, and he immediately backtracked. He was like, or don't. And I said all of that to say that the screen, the buffer, the thing that he usually has, I'm not saying he lost it for good in this debate, but he did lose it a little bit. Because I grew up in Louisiana, and I know people who are like hardcore in the MAGA movement, like people who are like, no, Trump is the guy. He is going to fix everything, right? I've grown up with these people, and we know each other well. And this was the first time that they were like, that wasn't great. Because even in debates against Hillary, they were like, no, okay, he said the thing, and I know it's a good soundbite for you liberals, but like, this is what he meant. And the thing that they're saying he meant, which is what they heard, which is what they decided to hear, is a reasonable thing when they start saying it from their mouths. So now I'm like, oh, okay, if that's what you think, that's what he said, then I can see why you're still like really gung-ho while I'm more put off by what he said, you know? But this was the first time that there was almost like a shared language. There was like a shared reality around like, what's happening to him right now? And he started to spiral, and he said, hey, look, they asked him a question. I can't remember if it was about immigration or the economy, but they asked him a question that should have been a layup for him. And he was still like, can I address the rallies for a second? Which, as a fellow entertainer, I understand. If someone had said that to me, I would have also been like, hey, listen, let me explain, all right? It was a Friday late show. They were tired, okay? You can't put that on me. And he said, can I address the rallies real quick? Because people don't go to her rallies, all right? They don't go to her rallies at all. The people that go to her rallies, she got to bust them in, and then they don't even have fun while they're there. She doesn't have any snacks. Now I'm paraphrasing, but like... But he did. He hit back with like rallies. They asked him underhanded. Should have knocked it out of the park, and he got distracted by rallies and crowd size and things that make sense as a priority if you're an entertainer. But if you're about to be the leader of the free world, they shouldn't matter as much. You know? And you could see him kind of spiraling after that because he was a little frustrated by like this thing that broke through. Then that never happens. Trump is a very hard person to debate because people like him are very hard to debate because they're not trying to have a debate with you. They're trying to make you look dumb. And because Trump is like very good at making other people look dumb, he's very good at debating. You see what I mean? But this was the first time that he was like, what is she talking about? My crowd. And so, you know, he had a bit of a spiral. And before you know it, he was like, look, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating, and you could tell in that moment that Trump wanted to say another animal, but he couldn't think of one. Because he says pets, but pets is off rhythm. If you go back and watch, it's like they're eating the dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating... And you can see for a split second the wheels turn of, he's like trying to think of, they're eating the bird. No, we all eat birds. They're eating the pets. You know? And then, you know, Kamala does a thing, and it's a thing that we've done when we've been watching debates, when we've been watching rallies, when we've been watching them on the news. She does a thing that we've done before, that a lot of other politicians have not done on stage with Trump. She laughed at him. And I think there's context to that laugh, because I'm not trying to get too, like, I don't know, like too much of a deep dive into it, but like there's context with that laugh, because she's not laughing at him, she's laughing at what he said. And that's really different. It's one thing to say Trump is a joke and Trump is a joke, and you could make the argument that the reason Trump became president was because Obama made him a joke. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Obama made fun of this man and he just sat there quiet, you know? And then years later, he was like, peaceful transition of power, huh? There's a big difference between laughing at Trump and laughing at what he said. You can think that Trump is a joke all you want, but he laughed his way to the presidency. But then when you laugh at what he says, when you take the power out of what he's saying, that's a very different thing. You know? She laughed at what he said for a second. And then there was a second, it was very slight, but there was a second where she was still smiling, but she wasn't laughing. And then there was a second where she wasn't smiling and she wasn't laughing. And it was reminiscent of like, yo, Yo. No, wait, yo. You know? And that's my thing, is I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, wow, that's different, you know? It's very, very different. And the thing I've noticed in both these debates is that they're not even about who did well. They're just about who did the least poorly. That's what we get stuck on. Like, it wasn't even, last debate wasn't even about Trump performing well, it was about Biden crashing out. And then this debate wasn't as much about Kamala winning as much as Trump They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. They're eating flamingos. They're eating the pets. No. And it was the first time in all the times that he's debated that Trump looked 78. Because he's 78. And he's got a lot of energy, so we let a lot of those years slide. We don't feel like he's 78. You know what I mean? Like I've known grandpas like Trump. I've known grandpas that were like, oh, he's got so much energy and he's so spry. And he's eating a lot of fast food. But he's 78. You know what I mean? But I guess this is one of my main things about it, is that like, it was the first time I saw him look out of his element on like a really important moment, you know? And I don't want people to think that this is like, that's it. That's all that needed. Not at all. It's harrowing how little it actually moves the needle. Almost everyone feels the way they felt before, even after we saw what we saw. And we agree that it didn't go well for one person. But we're still like, nah, I'm still gonna go the way I was gonna go. That's interesting, you know, that after all of this, they're like tied. Wow, they're tied. In lots of places, they're tied. It's not even like it's working out to be a tie because all this place and all this. No, in a lot of places, they watch that and they were like, I don't know. That's pretty wild, you know? The first time he really looked 78, because it was the first time he said something that like a grandpa would say right before you put him in a home. You know what I mean? Because be honest, if you let a lot of stuff slide as like a child or grandchild, and then grandpa been living by himself, but if one day out of nowhere, and you haven't seen where he saw this on the internet, he just walks up and he's like, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. You're like, okay, that's the last straw. I let you put the remote in the mailbox several times. But this is the one that I can't abide. This is, because it really has consequence. And I think that we live well enough here, even though I'm not even pretending things are just phenomenal. I'm just saying day to day, by and large, we do get by. And I think that when you get by, especially comfortably, it can feel like a game. You know, it can feel like something that doesn't matter as much. You know, and it can feel like something that you're just playing at. And I think that, you know, it's important to remember that all the things that these people say, these are very powerful people already, and one of them is going to become even more powerful. Everything that they say, everything they do has ripple effects. You know, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. It's like a meme. It's like a thing that's starting up. But it's also, which is very, very important, because we did a thing back in 2014, and we've done it ever since, that I don't know how to fix it. I'm just saying what happened from 2014 on. Anyone online that was even all the way from like crazy people down to people who were slightly conservative, right? From 2014 on, were just called Nazis outright. Right? Anything. And even a question, oh, you Nazi, right? To the point where Nazi started to not mean anything. And when it doesn't mean anything, it's hard to make it mean something when like an actual Nazi shows up, right?
And I want to be clear here. The thing that Trump said, it is a lie started by a neo-Nazi. I don't care how many people on Twitter try to find something to make it make sense after the fact. It's a thing that a guy said at a community meeting where he was specifically targeting the Haitian community, and he said that we will not be safe the more Haitians we let into it. That's also the other part of the soundbite. Outside of the dogs and cats, this dude was specifically saying, and he gets kicked out of the community meeting. That part also didn't make it into the viral clip, right? And so when people are saying, well, I saw, and they have these fourth-hand accounts of like my brother's, sister's, uncle's girlfriend has a cat that's missing. And they try to put stuff together. There's even a video going around of some people cooking a cat that's from a year ago and not in Springfield. And then that became like evidence. There's another picture of a guy that was walking with 2 geese that they said he was on his way to go cook, when actually it was found out that this dude was pulling these geese away from a car accident where they got hit, and that he's probably not Haitian. But even so, death threats, bomb threats, all of this horrible, horrific stuff has been happening to the Haitian community to the point where apparently, maybe this isn't true, but apparently even the person in the Facebook group that first posted about, oh, my niece's cat is missing, and thinking, she has even come out and been like, I never meant for it to turn into this. That was just a Facebook post. Maybe she was having a goof with a friend. She didn't think it would come out of the mouth of the former president in a debate where he was flailing. So all these things have real consequences. It's not a game, and we are not chess pieces, you know? And even after the debate, you know, it almost like hijacked the whole narrative of Trump losing the debate and Kamala winning it. Now it became about this weird thing with hate. And it's also already, in that little bit of time since the debate, switched into Africans, because now they were just like, oh, wait, we got it wrong. It's not Haitians, it's Africans that are eating the dogs and cats. And so now it's already shifted just to try to find some truth out of a thing that was a lie, right? And you have J.D. Vance afterwards, who, you know, pretty much probably fed that to Trump. And he's sitting there talking to Collins in an interview, talking about, okay, whether we find out that this is somewhat true or only a little bit true, was not willing to call it a lie, right? He says that, you know, we don't have evidence. This is me paraphrasing just for the sake of brevity, but basically we don't have evidence that there's no evidence. And the thing that is like so brain broken about that logic is that it creates a tidal wave of insanity until you can finally make something that you want to be true, right? Because it could ruin anybody's life. For instance, when you look at J.D. Vance, there is no evidence that there's no evidence that he didn't bang a couch. Do you see? Like, do you see how that's an unending thing? How it could ruin your life and never go away? How you can't even sit anymore? Because people see you next to a love seat and wonder? Do you see how insane that is? A lie that we know is a lie? But we'll work our way to figure out how we can make it true, you know? So just please, I mean, look, we watched the debate, and it was everything from a little bit boring at times to thrilling. We shouldn't even be debating like this anymore, to be honest with you. We've ruined the debate. The debate is too much like a chess game now, where it's like 90 seconds, 90 seconds, make your move, make your move. That's not how you solve problems. When you go back before debates were televised, the people that showed up were willing to be there for hours. And the candidates had a long time to lay out their position. So there actually wasn't as much of a chance to fully dodge questions, because they were like, what are you going to do about immigration? And you have until you figure it out. But when it's 90 seconds, you can be like, what are you going to do about immigration? Well, I believe is time up yet? No. They used to take forever because that's as long as it takes to figure out a problem. And it's as long as it takes to figure out what someone's real piece on something is, you know? If you could figure out big problems in 90 seconds, we probably wouldn't have any, you know? So just watching this thing of like, and then, it feels crazy. It makes me feel crazy because I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. They're not gonna make us feel like they have a plan in 90 seconds, you know? And there's too much of an opportunity to get derailed, you know? There was one point where it felt like maybe the only time in the debate where Kamala seemed a little angry. There was only one point, and I don't even remember exactly what led up to it, but she basically was talking about how Trump, which I forgot this happened, because when you live in like a 24-hour, 36-hour news cycle, everything is just sort of going, and there's no time to latch on to anything that matters, and there's no time for like real nuance of an issue. You're just going and going and going. But he did invite the Taliban to Camp David. And I remember when that happened being like, aren't they not supposed to be? The Taliban. Okay. And I remember that moment distinctly because out of nowhere, Kamala turned to Trump and said, this. And you can tell she's trying to find a word that won't get bleeped. And I know it because she had to reset. She actually closed her eyes for a second. This. Once again, as someone who was raised by black women, anytime my mama looked at me and went, you. In her mind, she killed me. You know, in her mind, my life flashed before her eyes. She would come back. This former president. All right, that one will work. You know, she pointed out something that we all saw. We just didn't seem to remember. Or maybe it wasn't that big of a deal at the time, you know. It's important to remember that we're not like just playing teams. It feels very much like teams, which I think is why so many people are like dug in, and no matter what happens, they're like, I'm not switching teams. But this is not a game, and we're not chess pieces. You know, it's very important. You register to vote. It's very important that you go vote and everything, because it's not going to be won by memes. You know, you can't like internet your way to fixing everything. You know, because I don't know. I don't know how everyone in this room feels or anyone watching feels. I just know that like I just want to feel comfortable with who is representing me out in the world and in front of the country. I want someone who is willing to maybe move a little bit like I would move. Maybe play chess the way I play chess. And I'm not even good at chess. You know, I just, you know, we all, everyone, no matter where you fall on party lines or anything, everybody wants somebody with a plan. And they asked them. They asked him, you want to repeal and replace Obamacare, and you say that you have a plan. We're asking right now, what is your plan and how would you enact it? And he didn't answer the first time. But when they asked again, they were like, after 9 years, what is your plan to repeal and replace Obamacare? Because I need to be clear here that, like, if something is a good idea, a really good idea, I don't care what party it comes from. If something is a smart idea, because I am not playing teams, because I don't feel like this is a game. This feels very real. The things that get said in a presidential debate that are funny, that are a joke for a little while, lead to death threats and bomb threats in real life. All of this is real. So if somebody has a plan and it's a good plan, not only will I hear it out, I might even help them try to make it happen, because it helps a lot of people and it gets us somewhere, right? And so they asked him, after 9 years trying to repeal and replace Obamacare, what is your plan? And he was like, look, I have concepts of a plan. I'm starting to feel like if he had repealed and replaced Obamacare back when he was president, not only would we not have health care, but I'm pretty sure our doctors would shoot us.
Knock.